Four principles we're always looking at are trying to keep our good posture, trying to stay as relaxed as possible, trying to continuously breathe, and trying to continuously move. And those are things we always think about, well, we want them for ourselves. But we also want to think about taking them away from our opponent. So I'm going to go over something I've been having a lot of success with lately in grappling and sparring and a lot of things. I'm going to talk about why it works and how it affects those four key pillars of combat system. So from a punch, I want to go to the outside. If I got my choice, as long as I can move my face away, I can always move back. I can move to the inside. But outside is where I like to be because I'm further away from any of his other weapons. Yeah, he can punch me here, but it's a lot harder for him to kind of walk to his inside line. So if I'm here in his outside line, there's less he can do. I've got more things I can take away from him. I like to use a second hand in here because if I only block here, go ahead and collapse your elbow. That can always come in. If he's good, or if he just buckles this, I could catch this. So if I'm going to control his arm, I want to control it back here. So I can do it with two hands, or if I'm moving my body, I can actually do it with my shoulder. My shoulder is actually preventing this from hitting. This arm is going to come up here, and at this point, I've got a pretty good control over his arm and upper body. He looks like a unicorn right now because you can't do much with that arm, can you? Oh. What I want to look for here is breaking structure. His structure is not really broken here. It's off center a little bit. I've moved here, but his structure is not broken. What I want is when I come here, I can grab the neck. Let's change this way. I want to see his spine change. If I have the neck, that's great because his arm could be closing off his carotid or his jugular. My radial bone is cutting off the other side, so you can actually choke somebody off standing just here. If I flubbed and it's up here, that's fine. I can still break his posture. At this point, it becomes very easy to bring him to the ground. Go ahead and go back up. If I'm here and I've broken the structure, he's still fighting me, there's things that we can do on the low line to help us out. Come on over here, so the camera can see. So right here, I've got him a little bit off, but I'm having a hard time getting him down. What I like to do, move this leg back here. Sometimes that's not an option. Sometimes he'll have this leg forward. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get it out. I can collapse that leg with my other leg. If I fight and he starts to take weight off of this leg, I can sweep it. There's not much weight on it. Once he gets here, I'm in one of my favorite positions because his arm is still across center. I can come here. This is called a gift wrap. I can be beating on him, elbows here. One of my favorite things to do is to put weight on him. Look at this. Out of the four things we talked about, I've gotten rid of his continuous motion. He's on his back. I've gotten rid of his posture. Look what I'm doing to his head. I'm curling his spine up. I'm getting rid of his breathing. I've got 200 pounds of marine on him. If that's not enough, I can do this. Another little thing I like to do, it's called popcorn. Come here. It's just an annoying thing you can do to help get the air off the person. Just bounce on them a little bit. This also works on the ground. This is actually one of my favorite ways to escape from people, especially people bigger than myself. I'm about 200 pounds. I used this last week to get a guy who was 300 pounds off of me. And so this works from mount, this works from guard also. But from here, if he has weight on me, he's got his hand and his weight on me here, I want the same idea. I want to get myself to outside. Here I've broken his posture, and he's got nothing on this side to prevent him from rolling over. From here, I can come in, break his leg, and go back into this that we just showed. There's a lot of good options. It also works or if he has his elbow on me. It's here, all I'm doing is I'm pushing this offside, using this to grab him. I really want to break his posture. Look, his arm is trapped over here where my head is. It can't stop him from rolling. If his arm was free, and I'm here, yeah, he can stop his body from rolling. If I have it trapped here, he's coming for a ride. So we do the same thing from guard here, where he's got some kind of weight. If he has no weight on me, then me pushing it over, you know, he's just going to fight that. What I really want is to somehow get that over top. Hug here. Here I have him in guard. I move my legs, scissor him. Now he's on the ground. And what I like about this is it gives me a lot of options. You know, if I'm in a sportive context or I'm trying not to hurt him, I can continue to grapple. If I'm worried he has friends, I can disengage, hit, come up. It's fairly easy for me to get out of the situation. A lot of times people will continue to roll. They'll roll, just let them roll underneath you. You can grab this. Now you're in a better position. I put my weight into him. If I want to be really mean, it's a neck crank. You can either put them in a wheelchair or you can use it to open up their throat. And now you can work on choking them out. A lot of options available for it. Or you can jump off of them and run away, which is a perfectly good alternative too. If I'm not having much luck pushing, I can move myself off. I don't have to move him if he's big and strong and heavy. I don't necessarily have to move his arm. I can move myself around it. Now I can either pull him this way or climb on top of him back to the same position. There's actually a video floating around right now of some New York DJ and a couple of truckers. They wind up in this position. The fight ends. The trucker hitting this. This is a common position to find yourself in.